Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sky Career Talks. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about business information services. And we have very esteemed and welcome alum here with us, um, Beth Rizzotti, who is the Senior VP of Business Information Services at LHH. Thank you so much for joining us, Beth.
Thank you
Welcome.
for having me. I'm so
Guys,
pleased to be with you.
so nice to have you. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got into this position and what does this position actually mean?
Sure. Yeah, I would be glad to. One of the themes that I'd like to share with the group today, LD, is networking. It's critically important from the first day that you're at Sky all the way through to your career. I did
You're
get
here.
my current position by networking with a fellow alum, actually. So shout
Wow.
out to Career Services who helped to facilitate that introduction. I took an internship while I was still at Rutgers. And I am actually still at that same organization today, 30 years later. I started
Wow.
as an assistant librarian, went to become a librarian, eventually managed the information center. And today I am on the leadership team of our global operations team at Lee Hecht Harrison. I still manage the library as part of that role, but I wear lots of different hats at the same time.
So that is absolutely fascinating. So can you tell us a little bit more about your day-to-day job?
Sure. Yeah. So I do manage the library, and that does remain my very favorite part of my job. My heart is still there when people ask me, what do I do for a living? I tell them I'm a librarian still. But my role as ops leader does take me in a lot of different directions. And so, Ildi, the first time you and I met each other, I was sharing with you, I do a lot of project management.
Mhm.
So one of the things I think you really get out of the program at Rutgers is this skill of, because we all understand when you come out of this program how information is collected, how it's organized, how it gets disseminated. So we know about databases and information, and we also know about people. We learn at Rutgers how people seek information,
Mhm.
how they consume information, and how they use it, how they take action upon it. So part of what you leave the Rutgers program with is really kind of knowing that in your bones. In a corporate setting, my observation is that companies tend to be bad at that. And it's not just in the library. Companies spend a lot of time creating digital tools. It's really, we're in an information age, so everything is information. And they struggle to create tools that people will adopt and use, and that will help them achieve their business goals. And so as a librarian, you kind of have the skill set to be in the middle between the users and the creators of these products, and to interpret those requirements and to help those things happen. So I spend a lot of my day project managing, project leading. And then the other theme I would hit upon is managing vendors. Companies spend a tremendous amount of money on third-party tools. And one of the skill sets I acquired early on running a small library is managing lots of vendors. We're used to buying information services when we're librarians. We understand how licenses work, and that translates very well on a larger scale in a corporate setting. So that's valuable to companies, and that's part of what a big part of what I do today.
So this is amazing, and thank you so much for breaking it down so well about the skill sets and what are the skills that students actually learn and how to highlight them. That was very, very helpful. Um, would you say, or what would you say, what would be the more important maybe skill sets that students should be looking towards to gain or get familiar with before they take
Yes.
the program?
Yes. So if I were doing this all over again, the year I graduated from Rutgers is the year the internet kind of went public, the World Wide Web. So if I were there going back today, I would absolutely be refining my skills in data science, in
Mhm.
predictive analytics. Of course, when you're in the Rutgers program, you're learning about taxonomies and metadata and all of that stuff. But really, the data science skill set is incredibly valuable in the market today. We cannot hire people quickly enough that have these skill sets. So if you have an opportunity to take advantage of those courses while you're at Rutgers, I would absolutely do that. You don't need to know how to code or program, although that's great if you do, but you need to know how to talk to the people who do those jobs, okay? And so that's a skill set that lots of people that are graduating library school have in their skill set that they can take advantage of. Project management skills, I don't have a formal project management certification, but I wish I did. I use that skill set every day. It's essential in a business setting, even in a library setting. And then general communication and business skills, know how to create a business case for something. And communication skills are key. I think even in 2020, people have preconceived notions about the role of the librarian or the librarian persona. I love it when people say to me, boy, you know, you're not like a normal librarian. And I say, I don't know what normal librarians you're hanging out with, because librarians are really, that I know, are
Very
pretty
cool people.
pretty cool people and very on top of things. And so having that confidence to communicate very effectively from the executive suite all the way down to whoever's at your reference desk, in writing, on video, and verbally are really, those are the important skills I'd highlight.
So would you say any kind of certification would help applications, or it is more important to maybe have an internship and the degree?
Yeah, I think it's very important if you can possibly work while you're in the Rutgers program, even if it's on a volunteer basis. I found that enormously helpful. I was coming into the Rutgers program straight out of undergraduate. I didn't have work experience. So for me to work in a library or in any corporate information setting while you're learning at Rutgers gives you the context you need to start to use the skills that you're learning in a practical, hands-on way. So certifications are great. They're valuable. I didn't have the benefit of having many of those. I learned a lot on the job, but hands-on working, doing the work is very, very valuable, I think.
So last question, would there be one advice to our current students? What is it that they need to focus on or should know?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of practical specific things and then a couple of others. First of all, if you want to pursue work in a business library, it's critical that your LinkedIn profile is polished. So I know that Ildi and the team spends a lot of time with you working on your resume, and that's very important, but make sure your LinkedIn profile reflects who you are, what your skill set is, and what you do. Companies will look at that as much as they will look at your resume. Network. Talk to people and let them know who you are and what you'd like to do. You'd be very surprised where your job opportunity comes from. The job opportunity I'm sitting in today came from my English professor, I was telling him, here's what I want to do. And he said, I know somebody.
Wow.
So network and really have a little elevator story, a little short story about who you are and what you think you want to do when you graduate. And then the other thing is, as I said before, just kind of surprise people, insert yourself, try to get a seat at the table when you're working. Just do informational interviews, ask people in other parts of the business what they do, and try to position yourself as a solution provider because you understand information. It's not just relegated to the space called the library. That skill set can translate across all parts of the business. And when they see you that way, your career opportunities will really go well beyond what you're probably imagining today.
Wow, this is such a nice ending to our little video. I wanted to share our contact information just in case anybody needs it. And I hope it's okay, Beth, if a lot of our students will reach out to you on LinkedIn after this wonderful video. And thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing information. I feel like I also want to become corporate librarian.
Yeah, please do message me on LinkedIn if you'd like to connect. I would love to meet you. We're always looking for internship help, so I would be very pleased to have it be a fellow Scarlet Knight. So please do message me on LinkedIn. Would love it. Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Beth.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wonderful day.